Hi, welcome back everyone. Hope you're really well today. So I have a bit of a different venue. I have snuck into my dad's garden because it's so lovely and thought I would try and film some bits for you here. So this video is going to be some really nice chest openers and some really nice hip openers. So I wanted to look at kind of that self-love vibe, doing a few things that are really good just to help you check in with your emotions, check in with how everything feels really, how the body feels, and trying to connect those two things together, how we feel and how the body feels. So that's the plan for today. So just roll out your mat. Don't need to go outside if you can't, but I thought I would make the most of the lovely weather and we shall get going. So to begin with, I just want you to come into your seated pose for me, sitting up nice and tall. And we'll just take our 3 breaths to tune in from there. So bring the hands down to the sides, take a big inhale to float all the way up, nice and tall. Easy exhale out the mouth, brings the hands down to the chest. And we're just going to plug those thumbs into the heartbeat and find that nice, easy rhythm. 2 more times, just the same. Big inhale floats you up. Easy exhale softens you back down. And one last time. Big inhale. Easy exhale. And while we have the thumbs on the heartbeat, it's a good time just to scan through the body and just notice how it feels today. Just maybe scanning all the way from your head to your feet, spotting any areas that maybe just need a bit more attention today. Maybe there's some tension there. Then we'll just draw that attention towards the breath, along with our emotions and with that physical body. The breath really is the thing that ties it all together. Just to start with, even to notice that breath, maybe where it's moving within the body. It's a good place to start. And then we'll draw that attention towards the mind. Without judging yourself at all, just notice how you feel today. Remembering that you're not your emotions, and we can just, almost like a bystander, just look at them and watch them, observe them, see as they can change over time, maybe the effect that they have on your body and on your breath. Then whenever you feel ready to, we're going to start to open those eyes and bring the hands down. We'll just take a few little stretches here to start. Excuse my voice. And then we'll get going from there. Sitting up nice and tall, just take a big inhale, turn your head over towards the right, just to stretch in towards the neck. And then as you exhale, going all the way over towards the left, and looking over your shoulder. Big inhale takes you back, just breathing down into the belly. I can see I've got a flower in my hair. And then exhale all the way over. This is a good point here just to check in with that breath. As you turn the head, feel the breath going down the belly. And as you exhale, again you can even exhale out the mouth, just getting that out breath nice and long. On your next inhale over to the right, you'll then start to exhale the head down into a semicircle. So I want you to release it all the way down, looking in between the legs. Really relax your head and your shoulders. And then ease it up to the other side. So drawing that nice big U shape for me. Any spots that feel good to linger, you know by now we can linger there. Relax those shoulders, release any tension, and just ease it up. We'll just take one more of those and center back up whenever you feel ready. Good. Coming back towards the center, have that little wiggle around if that feels good. I'm going to take our first little stretch for the chest here. So slide your hands behind you. Just start to lift your chest, and even to begin with, lifting your chest, relaxing the neck, relaxing the head down, and pushing the shoulders backwards. If you wanted to take this a little bit further, I'm just going to slide my feet a little further away, slide my bottom away, ground my hands down, lift my hips, relax my head, push my chest up to the ceiling. Or the sky today, I'm outside. Take a nice big deep inhale there. And then as you exhale again, just slowly come back down. We'll then take that little forward fold there. So just sweep the arms forward and relax the head there. Just 2 breaths and a gentle forward fold for me. So as you inhale, we can lift that chest. And then as you exhale, we can ease it down. One more big inhale, lift up. And then exhale back down. Good. On your next inhale, slowly start to walk yourself up. And we're going to come into our box pose. So shift all your weight onto one side. Gently walk yourself over. And then we want hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath those hips. So just have that little moment, see how that all feels. I'm just going to hoik my trolleys up, all the usual stuff. And then we'll take our cat-cows to start with. So looking out in front, inhale to lift your head and your bottom nice and high, belly low as you look up. And then exhale, curl the spine, looking in between the legs, coming into your cat pose. So big push of the shoulders. Take an inhale to lift back up into cow. Try and loop the shoulders down and look up. And then exhale, curls you round again. One more just the same. So big push all the way through, nice and gentle. And then exhale, curls it round. Coming into a nice little neutral spine for me in the middle. Just take a few little bum wags, a little stretch, a little look over the shoulder. Again, just checking in with the back. And whenever you're ready to, we'll come up for our first down dog. So moving the hands slightly further away, curl the toes, big inhale, lift up, bums nice and high, heels off the ground, walking on the spot, stretching out those legs for me. Nice deep breaths. We're trying to take everything nice and gentle here. It is about being nice and easy with yourself. So if it feels good, bend those knees, shift your hips around, wiggle about a little bit. We're going to bring our feet just a little bit closer together and go for a few down dog to up dogs, but again, nice and gentle today. So take an inhale, lift up to your tiptoes, roll the body forward into plank. Once you're there, just start to soften those knees down, uncurl the toes, gently sway your hips down, keeping the chest nice and high. This is rather nice with the sun on my face. And then we'll push back to down dog. But again, we're going to curl those toes, slowly come onto the knees, big push back up. Good. 2 more just the same. So we roll it forward, nice big wave. Soften those knees down, one at a time or together. Release the toes, shift the hips forward. Lift that chest, lift the face. Breathe it in. One more time. So roll it back, curl the toes, big push. Good. And into that up dog. So rolling the toes, leaning forward, softening the knees. Good. Take your time. Maybe on this one it feels good to take the feet a little wider. Start to shift the hips, looking over the shoulders. And check in with how it feels. Bring those feet a little bit closer together. Curl your toes up to down dog again for me. So curl those toes. Big push up. Nice deep breaths. And we're slowly going to walk up to the top of our mat for our forward fold. So I bend my knees, slowly walk up, move the hands to help me. I've got about 1 million flowers under my feet. It's lovely. There we go. So feet hip distance apart. So 2 fists in between your big toes, knees nice and soft. And we'll have our first little ragdoll. So bring hands to opposite elbows, relax the head down. Have a nice little sway side to side here. Giving your head a little bit of a shake. Do that little yes and that little no. Take a nice big deep inhale. And then as you exhale, relaxing the heads, these are my hands down to the ground. Coming into a little twist for me. So right hand to the outside of your left ankle. Inhale the left hand all the way up to the ceiling, looking up if you can. I'm so used to saying ceiling, it's the sky. Exhale back down. Same thing on the other side. So cross it over, big inhale, look up. And then exhale back down. Bend those knees. Inhale, roll up to stand. Squeeze the tummy as you go. Head's the last thing up. Big exhale once you're there. Kind of get some wisteria in your face if you're me, which is quite nice really. And then we'll come into our mountain pose. So bring your feet nice and close together. Let's see if I can do this without being in a jungle. Take a big inhale, lift all the way up. Bring those hands up towards the sky. And on that exhale, if it feels good, very gentle back bend, looking up. Good. Take a big inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive down. So hands to shoulders. We can start to bend the knees, stick your bum out, come down into a nice little forward fold. Good. We're going to be sending that right leg back to low lunge. So sweep it all the way back. Soften that back knee down straight away. Uncurl the toes. So we're going to start with these chest openers, little heart openers, some people call them. But it's just a nice way to, again, check in with everything. When we open the chest and release tension there, it can really help with those emotions. So just looking forward, start by just walking your hands backwards, starting to lift that chest, and maybe just bring the hands down. You can wiggle your front foot a little further away. You can have a little sway in the hips. See how it feels. Maybe just placing the hands onto the chest is a good place to start for you. But all I want you to do is find your comfortable spot, whether that's hands down, hands behind, hands to the chest, and start to bring your chest forward, release your neck back, get a nice little gentle bend in the back, and breathe. If you feel a bit wobbly, those hands can come to the front knee. We can keep the eyes open. You can put the hands on the hips if that helps, just to open the chest a little further. I just want you to get this nice stretch down the spine, an opening of the chest. Maybe the hands want to come up for you, and just see what feels good. Take a nice big deep inhale. As you exhale, we're going to release those hands back down. Good. Again, just a nice little opening for the chest. Nothing too major here, nothing too crazy. From that position, we're actually just going to sweep the left leg back into a child's pose. So I can take all my weight and lean onto the right, sweep the left leg back, and then gently walk myself back into child's pose. So nice and slow. From this position, I want you to start to look forward and walk your hands in towards you. So I'm going to come back onto my bottom and a nice tall spine there. So we're going to start to take just a few gentle little beginner's camels, if you like. So a camel pose is a very big back stretch, but it's also a lovely chest opener. So it can really bring out those emotions, but it's a nice way just to check in with those emotions. So the first one we're going to do, I'm just going to move to the middle of my mat. So hopefully you can see me a little bit easier here. And I'm going to start by curling my toes. So I'm going to curl my toes and just gently lean back and see how they feel. If this feels too much for you, release them. Maybe place a cushion just above your calves, and you can sit yourself back down on there. So just see how it feels. Toe stretches are probably my my hardest part because I do have very tight feet. That's where I hold a lot of tension. So if you're the same, do just take them nice and easy. You might even need to just give them a little wiggle to make sure they're all tucked in. Okay, and then this first camel pose, I want you to come up onto your knees. Again, you can support the knees with a cushion, and we're going to be just bringing the hands behind us, so onto the back of our hips, sort of where your kidneys are, if you like, onto those little bits there. It might be it's more comfortable for you to bring the fingertips forward, or you might be happy just to slide them back. All I want you to do for this first little camel Make sure you feel nice and comfortable, the spine is tall. Thinking about your elbows, start to slide them backwards. So your shoulder blades start to push together and you can start to feel the chest opening. Again, if this feels enough today, if this feels like that's quite tight, that's just a nice place to hang out, then just keep it there. If you've got a bit more wiggle room, start to bring the chest forward, relax the head back, keeping those elbows pushed back. That's the focus for this pose. We'll take a nice big deep inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to release that pose, going up one notch at a time, release the hands, and then we're going to come all the way back into our down dog. So I'm going to slowly release my hands down, bring them all the way to the top of my mat, curl the toes, big push down dog for me. Good. Pedal those feet. From there, we'll slowly walk up to the top of our mat for forward fold. Again, take your time. Remember, we're meant to be being nice to ourselves right now, so we're not pushing, not forcing anything at all. Maybe a little ragdoll feels good. Maybe a little dangle feels good. Just relax the head down there, relax the shoulders, the chest. Even think about relaxing your face, your tongue, down into your throat. Take a nice big deep inhale. And then as you exhale, we're relaxing those hands down. Coming in for a little twist one more time. So right hand to the outside of the left ankle. Inhale the left hand all the way up to the sky, looking up. And then exhale back down. Same thing on the other side. So we cross over, big inhale, lift up. And then exhale back down. Bend those knees. Inhale, roll up to stand. Squeeze the tummy as you go. Head's the last thing up. Wiggle around. Sort your clothes out. I'm going to come towards the middle a little bit more just so I can not get a head full of too many flowers. I've got enough going on. Coming into mountain pose. Bring your feet just that little bit closer together, palms out to the side. Big inhale, lift all the way up. And on the exhale, if it feels good, gentle back bend again for me. Open that chest. Take a big inhale there. And then as you exhale, we slowly start to release forward, fold down. Take your time. This time we're going to shift that left leg back to low lunge. I'm going to come to the top of my mat, take my weight over to my right, send the left leg back. Shift in once you're there. Soften that back knee down, uncurl the toes. Again, take your time. Make sure you feel comfortable. Slowly start to lift your chest. Look forward whenever you're ready. Could be it's comfortable just to place the hand on the knee to support you. Could be hands down to the sides. Could just be placing the hands on the chest. If you feel happy to, maybe even trying to close the eyes. See what difference that makes in the body, in the mind, and in the breath. From there, we want to start to open that chest. So maybe keeping the eyes closed if you can. I know this is a little bit wobbly. We're going to be leaning backwards. Feel the stretch in your lower spine. Or if you're me right now, feel the sun on your face, which feels lovely. See a little wobble, because I had too much fun. So I can open those eyes if you feel a little wobbly. See if you can relax your head. Feel the stretch in the neck. I'm going to bring those hands down just to see that difference that I can feel in my back. And then to finish, maybe an inhale, lift those hands up to the ceiling. Ceiling, I said it again, this is the sky. Take a nice big deep inhale. As you exhale, gently come back into your low lunge. Leaning over towards the left, slide that right leg back so we can come into a little child's pose. Few breaths there. Very gently, we're going to start to come up to our camel again. So I look forward, bring my hands in towards me as I gently come up onto my knees. From this position, I'm just going to get myself in a good spot. We're going to see if we can take our camel pose a little bit deeper. If that last time we did it felt like enough for you today, then just keep it there. So up on the knees, hands on towards the back of the hips, pushing those elbows back, lifting the chest and releasing there. If you want to take this a little bit further, we're going to come onto those toes. Put a bit of space between your knees as well, just to support you. And really think about keeping your hips forward in this pose. There's going to be a tendency to want to lean back, but we're going to try and keep them tilted forwards if we can. So first off, we're going to just take one hand up and back and just see how that feels. So looking forward, take an inhale, lift your right hand all the way up to the sky. And then as you exhale, look over your right shoulder, sweep the hand back and just see if you can grab that heel. If that feels too far away, don't worry, you could grab the back of your hip instead. Then just take an inhale, lift your left hand up towards the sky. This might feel enough. If it's enough, keep it here if you wanted to. See if you can sweep it back and grab that left heel. So I'm trying to slide myself down whilst keeping the hips forward, releasing the chest, the shoulders, and relaxing the head. We're just going to go for 2 breaths here for me. Lift that chest up to the sky. Breathe deep. Then to release, we start with our left hand, our last hand up. So we inhale, lift it up and back, and then bring up that right hand and back. Let's have a little child's pose there, just to release the spine. So slide yourself down, bring the head down if you can. Again, it's a good time in child's pose just to see, how did that feel? How did it feel in the body? How did it feel with the breath? Were there any problems with breathing in the pose? Again, just have a moment to check in with those emotions. We're not trying to delve into them too deeply, we're just trying to acknowledge them. And once you feel ready to, we're going to look forward, sweep those hands in towards you, come up onto your knees. Good. We're going to try one more camel. So, last time we hopefully put our right hand up first. This time that left hand is going up first. So curling the toes for me, looking forward. Remember, we can stick with the hands on the hips. We can stick with one hand up and one hand down. So looking forward, inhale, lift your left hand all the way up. As you exhale, we're going to sweep it back, look over the shoulder, see if we can grab the heel. Inhale, lift that right hand up, either keep it straight up or see if it can maybe wiggle down. See how that feels. Have a moment just to settle in, open the chest, release the back, relax the head down. 2 breaths wherever you are. Feel the stretch in the belly as you breathe. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, this time it's going to be that right hand all the way up and forward, and then our left hand all the way up and forward. We're going to come into our down dog just to release the back. So lean forward, bring the hands down, walk them to the top of the mat, curl the toes. Big inhale, push up. Give your legs a little stretch too. We've had those knees bent for a while. They probably want a bit of a release. Maybe a little sway. And we'll finish with just a bit of a pigeon pose just to release those hips one last time. So I want you to take a down dog split with your right leg. Big inhale, lift it up, bend the knee, cock your leg. Exhale, sweep it through, right knee behind that right wrist. Release your back leg, so slide it farther back, as far back as you can, trying to get your foot over towards the left. So in our pigeon pose, we want those hips to be facing down. Take your time getting into it. And we're just going to stick with a nice regular pigeon today. Maybe it should be a wood pigeon because I'm in the countryside. And the reason we're finishing off with our hip openers is that we keep a lot of tension in our hips. Often hip openers can leave us feeling a little emotional because we're releasing a lot from our hips. We really do hold lots of tension there. So if you do feel as you're relaxing, releasing into your hip openers, maybe those emotions change. And we don't need to to worry about it in particular. We're just noticing that. Sometimes with emotions, it's just good to acknowledge them. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't always need to be self-care as something that's fluffy and nice. It can be about acknowledging all of those different emotions and then just moving on. Maybe relax it forwards. Again, you're going to know your pigeons by now, I'm sure. See how they feel. If you wanted to, maybe lift that chest. You could also give yourself one last little chest opener while sweeping that foot up. Maybe sending a hand back. Maybe, maybe not, you know. See how it feels. I like to place a hand on my knee just because I've got my short arms you all know about. And release. And we'll move on to our other leg. So curl the toes, big push, slide it back, down dog. Walk on the spots. And then we'll take our down dog split into pigeon pose on that left leg. So big inhale, lift the left leg nice and high. Bend the knee, cock your leg. Exhale, sweep the knee through. Tuck it behind the left hand. Foot over towards the right. Soften the back knee down. Uncurl the toes. Lengthen that leg. That's what we want. Now this is always my tighter hip. So if you're the same, or maybe the other hip was your tighter hip, do just take it easy. A little gentle sway. Just focus on maybe even just tucking the foot out from the body a little bit. If that foot feels kind of closer towards you than the other leg, that's where we can focus today. Just keep that little sway. You can maybe start to lift the chest. You don't have to grab the back leg if that doesn't feel good. But if you have a little fall, you have a little fall. It is all good. I'm going to blame the breeze. It's such a strong breeze, it blew me over. That's what happened. But have that movement. I really do believe that there should be movement in all of our yoga. I don't like anything feeling too rigid, feeling too set. So just see how all of this is feeling for you. It might feel good to lean forwards. Again, keep a little sway in the hips. Just one more breath. Slowly start to come onto those hands. Lift the chest back to down dog last time. So curl those toes, lift the knee. Big push, slide it back. Walk out on the spot. Stretch the feet, stretch the legs. Take a nice big deep inhale. As you exhale, soften those knees down to the ground, uncurl the toes, and then we're going to just slide ourselves back and through into our seated pose. Take your time. Breathe. Oh, it's quite nice doing this outside. So we're going to take our 3 breaths to tune out in exactly the same way that we tuned in from here. Bringing the hands down to the sides. Take that nice big inhale to float all the way up, nice and tall. Easy exhale out the mouth. Brings the hands down to the chest. And just plug the thumbs into the heartbeat. Find that nice, easy rhythm. 2 more times just the same. Big inhale floats you up. Easy exhale softens you back down. And one last time. Big inhale. Easy exhale. And while we have the thumbs on the heartbeat, it's a good time just to scan through the body and just notice how it feels. And then draw that attention towards the breath without changing it too much, just noticing how it feels in the body. And finally, the mind. I just want you to notice how you feel right this moment, without any judgment, just acknowledging those feelings. And namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. Do leave me a little comment below, and I shall see you again next time. Have a really lovely day. Bye.